Distorted time and space, two cars collide, through thousands of years, heaven descended upon islands. Opening seafood, live streaming debt repayment, mysterious space, reuniting with loved ones. Leaving the island and selling goods on the farm, rising in fame, urban education. 3,000 peaches and plums, agricultural empire, a strong enemy is attacking, Star Wars. Welcome to the agricultural empire of Moon Star. Keywords of the novel. Let you repay your debts by eating radio, revive interstellar agriculture without pop-ups, let you repay your debts by eating radio, revive interstellar agriculture. Download the complete set of TXT, let you repay your debts by eating radio, revive the latest chapter of interstellar agriculture. Chapter 1. Unmanned Island X. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The source has no content or has errors. Chapter 2. Bird Shell Sashimi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Bird Shell Sashimi. More importantly, the Millet Live Broadcast Room has advantages that cannot be compared to other 99% live broadcast rooms. Advantage 1. The original host's high-end live streaming equipment is currently the most advanced live streaming equipment on Ueshing, which can fully simulate the environment of the host, allowing the audience to be immersed in it. Currently, 90% of Star Network's live streaming hosts are still using low-end live streaming devices, as high-end live streaming devices have only been available for a week and are priced at 100 million star coins. Advantage 2. Ueshing's unique full set of kitchen utensils adds explosive points to Chen Su's live broadcast. At the same time, due to Ueshing's well-established intellectual property protection system, anyone who wants to replicate this kitchen equipment in the future must first obtain a license from her, which is also a considerable income. Advantage 3. The entire island is hers, and the natural ingredients on the island are equivalent to zero accounting costs. Ueshing. Number 999, Main City District. Long Xiaotian immediately went live to find his old man. Old man, I have discovered a huge business opportunity. Look at the live broadcast replay, this salmon is the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. If I could bring it back for sale, it would definitely become the best-selling item on Moon Star. The old man watching the video is indeed refreshing, but does food, weapons, and energy make money? The little old man is holding 2 massage balls. Don't be angry, don't be angry. The child has no brain to teach, and getting angry is not worth it. If you want to eat, find her to buy it yourself. Old man, it's not a matter of whether to eat or not. I really think this can make money, and I promise I won't lose money this time. Long Xiaotian has golden hair, a ruby earring in his left ear, a golden bracelet in his right hand, a gold medal around his neck, and a small expression of tugging, making him the second-generation ancestor of scattered wealth. Moreover, the scenery there is beautiful, and we can also travel in groups. There are definitely a lot of people who will go there. Old man, you won't lose out on this investment. Long Xiaotian enthusiastically pounded the old man's legs, pinched his shoulders, and poured tea. Humph, last week you tricked me into investing 3 million stars, 5 million last week, and 10 million last month. How much money am I giving you to play? Get lost. Go, go, go. Long Xiaotian turned his head and ran to find the old lady in the shape of a dragon, sunbathing in the swimming pool. Long Wei, do you have a business to do? I sent you a live broadcast of your corn, you watched it, how about investing in a wave? The team conducted an evaluation and found that the ancient culinary techniques and extinct species are indeed attractive, but the island is too small. If we want to start our business, we don't have enough resources. Young Master Long, take your time and don't give away. Sister, help your lovely, kind, and sincere brother. Besides, salmon is really delicious. How can you and Dad have biases just because it's a project that I'm interested in and not talk about profits? Do you have a professional evaluator who is amazing? If you really want to do it, go grind the old man. He loves you so much, maybe he will give it to you. Humph, you're still saying that you didn't give it to me today. Oh, the old man refused you, ha ha ha. Alright, young master, where are you going to cool down? Watching Long Wei leisurely drinking in the swimming pool, Long Xiaotian transformed into a dragon in a fit of anger and flew into the Liangshan River to extinguish his anger. Moon Star. Unmanned Island X. After tidying up the utensils, put them in the automatic cleaning cabinet, and Chen Su is ready to go around the area. Behind the beach was a thicket of bushes, and as we walked deeper, the vegetation became denser. A rustling sound came from the surroundings, and a silhouette flashed past Chen Su's eyes. She quietly pulled out a 1.6 m long stir-fry spoon from the storage, grabbed the handle with both hands, crouched down slightly, and made a competitive posture, paying attention to the movements around her. As a veteran who had served in the interstellar battlefield for 10 years and received the Merit Medal, Chen Su keenly sensed the recent energy fluctuations, but now there is no trace of them. After waiting in place for 5 minutes, there was no further movement in the grass. Is it a small animal on the island? Chen Su did not relax his vigilance and set up a warning line 50 meters away from the tent to prevent being attacked at night. After a peaceful night and morning exercise, Chen Su continued to prepare for the live broadcast as usual. What Chen Su is preparing to do this time is the species of bird shells that currently exist on the Moon Star. However, the bird shells of Moon Star are completely inedible now, and a strong contrast conflict can better promote live streaming. Suomi Live Room, Wanderers on the Moon Star Desert Island, with birds and shells piercing themselves. It hasn't started broadcasting yet today, and the number of reservations has reached 100 million, with 10 million followers. And some online stores are offering olive branches, asking if they can establish a long-term partnership to sell extinct animals and plants. These cooperation intentions were immediately rejected by Chen Su. The island is only so large, and compared to the population of hundreds of billions on the Moon Star, there are more wolves than meat. The opening of transactions can easily lead to the extinction of species again, unless large-scale cultivation and breeding can be carried out. Chen Su entered the live broadcast room, and the eagerly awaited netizens instantly boiled. Bullet chat. It came from the salmon bird shells. Can that thing be eaten? I've tried it before, it smells really bad. I grabbed it once and couldn't look directly at my hand for 3 whole days. Hello, welcome to Sumi's live broadcast room. Today we're going to make bird shell sashimi with soy sauce as the seasoning. Bullet chat. What is the taste of soy sauce? According to ancient literature, it is an ancient seasoning sauce. I heard the taste is fresh and sweet, and it is also divided into dark soy sauce and light soy sauce. Longxing Tianxia netizen is right. Today we are using light soy sauce. Bird shells need to be placed in clean water with added sea salt for 2.3 hours to spit sand, just like this. Chen Su placed the bird shells that had spit out the sand on the table, displaying a little bit of dirt on the bottom of the basin. Bird shells are so clean, not as dirty as those in the deep sea. There was no foul smell when opening the shell. I opened one before, and it was black and red inside, like rotten meat. The little one picked up a stinky odor before. Netizen, are these frozen or freshly caught? I think it's frozen. The sea may not be there yet, but it's all fake. The background is all fake, it looks very fake at first glance. There's nothing wrong with the panoramic live broadcast equipment of Yaolong upstairs, which synchronizes the live broadcast in all aspects. Don't worry, these are all fresh bird shells caught from the sea in the morning. This is the internal organs and feet of bird shells, which can be eaten. The internal organs need to be removed. Chen Su carefully cleaned up the bird shells, but when he looked up, he found that the live broadcast room had become a noisy area, filled with various voices of questioning. Bullet chat. Who knows what methods the internet owner used to cultivate extinct organisms? Be careful not to eat them and cause problems. I also suspect that none of the zoobotanists on the Moon Star can do it, and the webmaster seems to be just a high school student. Shouldn't it be team packaging hype, the last big scam to buy something? It tastes good. I'll eat the whole magic dragon pepper raw. Fierce person, magic dragon pepper is the spiciest chili on the moon star. Eating it in one bite can bring you to heaven. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. The Great Black Bear Spitting Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. The Great Black Bear Spitting Fire on the public screen, barrage after barrage of comments was incessant, and the content became increasingly excessive. I hereby declare that. Firstly, the flora and fauna on the island are naturally cultivated. Secondly, I do not have a team. Thirdly, I do not welcome noisy people here. If you do not like it, click on the top right corner and roll around on your own. Chen Su put away the softness on his face and solemnly stated, with a sharp expression in his eyes. Bullet chat, how cool. I seem to have seen my homeroom teacher. I seem to have seen my home director. His face is really big. At first, the barrage was much cleaner, although there were still malicious comments, it was clearly much less. The bird shells have been processed, some were slightly scalded with boiling water, and some were eaten raw. Now I want to open a trial seat, and the little ones are ready. Bullet chat, some people are still cursing up there. Don't grab what you have. Tell me about you, little white dragon in the waves. Not at all fishy, it's so delicious. Moon Star's #1 beauty, snatched a trial seat. Do you still want to eat magic dragon pepper? I will definitely support internet owners opening online stores, plus, it's good to open a restaurant. I will definitely go, although the network owner's positioning satellite 199999 is far away. After trying it out, the comments on the public screen were reversed. Chen Su prepared to broadcast it, but received a connection request from a netizen named Moon Star's #1 beauty. The one who wants to eat magic dragon pepper. This is a great opportunity to create a hot topic. She just clicked to connect. There is a connection request from a netizen named Moon Star's #1 beauty, and I am now connected. As soon as it was connected, a man dressed in black, with a strong and rugged appearance flashed on the screen of the live broadcast room. This is the most beautiful man on the Moon Star. He looks really embarrassed. I laughed, my face is really thick. It's none of your business what they call you, how beautiful you look. That's right, one mouth is buzzing behind the screen. Big brother, you're not really here to eat magic dragon pepper, are you? Before Chen Su could open his mouth, he saw that the elder brother swallowed half of the magic dragon pepper directly and chewed it in his mouth very quickly without changing his face. Big brother, it's amazing big brother, steady big brother, my god big brother, bear in just 3 seconds, I saw the colorful red on my older brother's face, and then I spewed out flames. Immediately after, he turned into a big black bear, running around the room, and the entire live broadcast room was filled with the deafening roar of his big brother and the sound of various things falling with a crackling sound. Oh my, mom. Oh my god, called Star Network Emergency Rescue Station. 10 minutes later, the medical staff at the ambulance station arrived at Big Black Bear's home based on the address provided by the Star Network's main intelligent brain emergency rescue system. Then 4 medical staff carried the black bear that sprayed small flames for 1 second and large flames for 3 seconds as it passed in front of the camera, causing the flames to soar high. After the broadcast, Chen Su was shocked. In his lifetime, he really saw chili peppers that could breathe fire. Is the Moon Star chili peppers from 4035 so strong? Contacting Big Brother Black Bear through the Star Network platform and confirming that he was simply overeating and getting angry, there was no major problem. He only sprayed for 1 or 2 hours, and Chen Su finally breathed a sigh of relief. The extremely spicy magic dragon pepper aroused Chen Su's curiosity. When she went to the Star Net market, she found that the magic dragon pepper on top was actually sold by gram. 10,000 star coins /0.5 grams, 5 grams of magic dragon pepper, equals 100,000 star coins, which is equivalent to a 1 square meter house in the outer ring of the 4035-year Star Guardian satellite. Tisk, it's quite expensive. The appearance is similar to Xiaomi pepper, but it's a bit larger. The value of magic dragon pepper lies in its usefulness but rarity. It is one of the few plants that is still growing on the moon star, with strong vitality and has not been polluted by the moon star's environment. It is also an important component of a cold supplement. I haven't decided whether to buy it yet. According to a real-time message from Xinguang, a black bear man was admitted to the hospital after eating magic dragon chili peppers. Here, I warn all residents of Yueshing not to consume too much magic dragon chili peppers and to act within their means. After the report was released, Brother Xiong's story became widely circulated, with the edited Spitfire video reaching billions of views. The number of fans in the Sumi live broadcast room reached the first milestone, breaking 1 billion for the first time. Thank you, Brother Black Bear, for his wonderful performance. Star Network received 400,000 star coins, and the live broadcast revenue this time was considerable. Chen Su decided to go to the second-hand trading market to buy a new aircraft. The previous 10,000 star coin aircraft was really run down, and at most 3 times it had to be reported as a pile of scrap metal. Although we currently cannot afford a brand new aircraft worth millions of stars, hundreds of thousands of second-hand aircraft are enough to meet the requirements of visiting the entire island. Just arrived at the main star of Moon Star, and the tail of the aircraft began to emit black smoke. If it was delayed a little longer, the aircraft would crash and people would die. The snow and wind in the sky make people unable to open their eyes, the cold temperature of -180 degrees Celsius makes people's teeth tremble, the snow covers their knees, and harmful substances are mixed in the air. This is the cold winter period of the year star 4035. Dripping through the snow, waiting at the platform of the Moon Star track, the floating screen next to it is playing today's Star News broadcast. Moon Star Military Network. Previously, His Highness Xinglan was injured in battle with the Octopus Army and was sent to the Interstellar Military Hospital for treatment. He is currently in good condition and will be discharged soon. The Moon Star of 4035 is still in the midst of interstellar warfare, with gunpowder permeating the protective covers and coldness enveloping everyone. It is polarized, and everyone is not living easily. Arriving at the underground second-hand trading market, unlike the high-rise buildings outside, the overall appearance is different. Here, there are mostly one grid after another, and the cramped space is packed with shops in front and accommodation in the back. Picking from left to right, there are quite a few new things here. Over the course of 1,000 years, Moon Star technology has been thriving, and compared to the environment of Moon Star next year, it can be considered as declining. Beauty, you need to see what to buy. In the small and dimly lit room, there were scattered second-hand aircraft, and a man in a cheap warm suit was holding a husky cub in a medium cold suit, drinking nutrient solution. Nowadays, it is rare for interstellar animals to be kept. Human life is difficult, who let this little guy stay in my store and not leave? Chen Su looked at the second-hand aircraft behind him, picked one of them, and tried out its features. How much is this one? 300,000 star coins, 10,000 star coins for charging, 50,000 star coins for backup energy, just brought back from the interstellar battlefield. The quality is guaranteed, but the appearance is not very attractive. Sure. Transfer 360000 star coins directly from the StarNet account to the store account. Oh my, girl is impressive and refreshing enough. I will transfer your ownership on StarNet right away. Chen Su noticed that there was still Lingyan Express written below the Lingyan aircraft shop. You also deliver private express delivery here. Small team, StarNet Express has many private shipping programs, some urgent orders, and remote satellites will come to us. Chen Su touched Husky's dog head. He hasn't been infected in 35 years, and there are not many healthy animals living like this anymore. In 35 years, he can still smile foolishly. Your master takes good care of you. Alright, if you need to send something in the future, you can also contact us. The contact phone number is the one on the transaction form. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Glutinous Rice Reunion and Rolling. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4. Glutinous Rice Reunion and Rolling. The next morning, Chen Su piloted a new aircraft and successfully arrived at the 199,999 satellite. The azure planet stands out among the surrounding dark planets. The volume of this protective satellite is 1.083 times 10 carat 12 cubic kilometers, with a surface area of 5.11 by 10 carat 8 square kilometers. Looking down from above, the space on the island is divided in half by the high mountain in the middle, while the rest of the land is colorful with flowers and willows, like experimental fields in the College of Zoology and Botany. This island comes with a built-in temperature control system, and the transition between day and night only affects brightness, without affecting air humidity in temperature at all. As far as we know, the flora and fauna on islands grow in a completely mixed manner, and their growth is much larger than normal, which is truly a blessing for botanists. If that group of animal and botany experts at home were to come here, the entire island would have to be thoroughly studied by them. Flying over at low altitude, Chen Su also discovered that there was a population of all the organisms on this island from the year 3035 of the Moon Star, which had even become extinct 3035 years ago. Only genetically cultivated organisms survived here. However, 90% of the biological population on the planet 4035 has become extinct, and the genetic cultivation of species in the main planet's biological breeding room cannot be carried out on a private guardian planet. And the zoology of 3035 years has been neglected, and now it is being refrigerated. It is very difficult to achieve genetic cultivation. Driving the aircraft around the entire island gave me a preliminary understanding of the number of these flora and fauna. Botany and zoology have been neglected on the moon for a long time, and the interstellar war has never stopped. Planetary energy prompts humans to awaken life forms, develop brain domains, generate energy pools, transform physical fitness, and obtain star energy talents from level 1 to level 10. But it seems to have taken away everyone's reverence for the planet itself. Docking on the beach in the southern part of the island, without the overwhelming wind and snow, the warm sun shines on the body, feeling the energy flowing in the air, like little elves, entering the body and calming the restlessness inside. In order to fully utilize the popularity of Magic Dragon Pepper, Chen Su decided to do a live broadcast related to Xiaomi Pepper. Suomi Live Room, Moon Star Island Wanderer, Spicy Fried Sea White Shrimp, comes with salmon as a gift. Today has not started broadcasting yet, and the number of reservations has reached 10 billion, with 3 billion followers. The platform actively recommends seats to the homepage, which is the prelude to the explosive popularity of live streaming. Bullet Chat: another extinct species of sea white shrimp. I heard that some salmon came over. Are there really so many extinct species? Haha, brother Xiong, who questioned yesterday, is still smoking in his mouth. Hello, welcome to Sumi's live broadcast room. Today we are going to make sea white shrimp and salmon, and the most important seasoning we need is the small rice pepper in my hand. Chen Su filled a bowl of clean Xiaomi pepper with a glass bowl, which indeed brought a strong visual impact to the audience in front of the screen. Bullet Chat: is the internet owner crazy, or am I blind? After finishing the energy pool, it will explode directly. Do I think internet owners really have a lot of money? But the internet host calls it Xiaomi Pepper. Isn't it Magic Dragon Pepper? I also heard it. Support. That's right, this is not Magic Dragon Pepper, it's a similar shaped millet pepper that will be used to make spicy stir-fried sea white shrimp later. I will now demonstrate how to handle sea white shrimp, and the rest of the sea white shrimp has been cleaned up. Xiaomi pepper has a certain degree of spiciness, so it comes with salmon as a gift to relieve the spiciness for everyone. Wash the sea white shrimp with clean water, and the next step is to remove the shrimp line. The shrimp line contains shrimp excrement. There is no consensus on whether to remove the shrimp line, it depends on personal preference. The first method, back method. Take the shrimp head down 2 sections and gently pick out the shrimp thread with a fine needle. The second method, shrimp head method. Remove the entire shrimp head, gently twist the shrimp head to bring out the shrimp thread, and the remaining shrimp head can be boiled into shrimp oil. The third method, back opening method. Use a knife to make a cut on the back of the shrimp and pick out the shrimp line. After cleaning up the sea white shrimp, Chen Su prepared a pot of 5 large portions of spicy stir-fried sea white shrimp. She took out her 1.6-meter long golden spoon and a large iron pot with a pot mouth diameter of 1.5 meters and a pot depth of 1 meter from the storage. As soon as the firewood ignited, the iron pot came out, and the golden spoon shook. Chen Su, who looked like a loli and had a curvaceous figure, was seen shaking the large iron pot with her bare hands, using a set of stir-frying combo punches to show off her strength. Bullet chat: am I hallucinating? Did I not wake up? Did I open the wrong live broadcast room? The contrast is too great for the webmaster. My saliva is flowing down. The aroma of sea white shrimp has made the audience in the live broadcast room eager to try. Chen Su turned around to grab the salmon placed on the dining table, feeling that several pieces were missing. Now there are 4 trial seats available. Audiences who have seized the trial seats are kindly requested to share their trial experience on the public screen. Bullet chat: spicy and spicy. It's both spicy and delicious. My mouth is swollen with spicy food. No magic dragon pepper. Spicy, completely acceptable. A mouthful of sea white shrimp, a mouthful of salmon. It's amazing. The salmon is super delicious, very tender, and very fresh and sweet. Xingning covered the rear area and indeed saw the appearance of 2 black, furry hand brushes. The sea white shrimp on the control panel disappeared along with the coiled shrimp. Chen Su lowered the broadcast and restrained his breath, circling around the back of the control panel. Seeing a black and white glutinous rice ball, standing only her calves high, she snorted and ate sea white shrimp with her back to her. There was already a pile of sea white shrimp wreckage next to her. The glutinous rice dumplings were eating hard when 2 black boots appeared in front of them. It looked up, tilted its little head, and saw the big guy number 2 staring at it. After looking up and down, it handed the shrimp in its hand to Chen Su. Big guy number 2, it smells so good. Chen Su didn't pick up the shrimp in his hand, but he was very interested in the collar around its neck. She took out a bucket of processed sea white shrimp from the storage and placed it in front of it. Little one, here's all this bucket for you. Show your sister the collar around your neck. The glutinous rice dumpling shrugged its nose and sniffed at the sea white shrimp in the bucket, with a puzzled expression on its face. It raised the cooked sea white shrimp in its hand to Chen Su, indicating that these 2 smelled different. I'll cook it for you later. First, take a look at the collar. Mwomi Tuanzi dodged her hand, pointed to the big iron pot, and then pointed to the sea white shrimp in the bucket. It's quite clever. Chen Su patted its head and carried the sea white shrimp into the pot to stir fry. Xianumi Tuanzi held a plate and sat opposite her, her black eyes swaying up and down along the trajectory of the pot. Chen Su grabbed a handful of chili peppers and put them into the pot. The glutinous rice ball followed closely and also grabbed another handful of chili peppers and threw them into the pot. Little one, that's enough. Chen Su scooped out the chili peppers that were added later, causing the glutinous rice balls to jump frantically. Okay, put it back. Place the stir-fried sea white shrimp in front of the glutinous rice ball in a large bowl, and it obediently raises its head, revealing its short and thick neck and collar. Inject the star energy into the buckle, easily remove it, and flip through the inside of the collar. Xiaotani, June 1, 3025, Number 1 Iron-Eating Beast, Chuanshan Experimental Zone. It's really the generation of iron-eating beasts that my father raised. At that time, Chen Su was in the military district, and he only heard his father say that the second and third generations he raised did not live for 3 days, and the first generation was raised by him in a safe place. Chen Su wanted to put the collar back on it, but it refused to put it on anymore, dragging a large basin and walking quickly with 2 short legs. Is there an illusion of being trapped in a routine? End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Stinky Durian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Stinky Durian. The 2 short legs were flipping back and forth quite quickly, and suddenly darted into the bushes without a trace. Chen Su put away the tableware and watched the live data report sent by the live streaming platform. On today's tasting review, 99% of the reviews were positive, with 5 billion followers and a reward of 800,000 star coins. This achievement is completely the first among new anchors. Live streaming platforms are more channels for selling products from online stores and large companies. Nowadays, there are very few orcs who work in their own field and usually sign contracts with online stores and companies to receive profits, rather than waiting for rewards. On the one hand, the platform's reward amount is not high, and on the other hand, the platform's reward anchors only receive 40%, which is completely insufficient compared to direct sharing. Chen Su has saved up all the 800,000 star coins she has received, with a repayment period of 5 years. However, she plans to repay the loan within 1 year, as an additional year will bring more interest. The idea of visiting the island was interrupted by glutinous rice dumplings last time, and coupled with this morning's island tour and collar incident, her curiosity about this island reached its peak. Drive the aircraft all the way west along the bushes. On the west side of the southern island is a fruit forest, where various fruit trees grow together and most of them are in the mature stage, with a small number of young seedlings in the growing stage. For these small saplings, Chen Su chose to avoid them and let them grow wild, which was better than her careful care. After all, she was a master who could even feed wild grass and turtles to death. I have roughly looked at several fruit trees on the periphery, and without exception, they all have codes and variety introductions in hidden places. This concealment method is commonly used by my grandfather, and all conjectures are confirmed at this moment. The entire island is a large botany and animal research laboratory, and even the layout is arranged according to the habits of the group of botany and animal experts at home. Now she is more and more curious about the unknown person who gave the original owner this protective satellite, looking forward to the day they meet. Chen Su looked at the durian trees, remembering that the online evaluation of them was unpleasant. Durian can become a hot spot for live streaming tomorrow, and the existing species of moon star can facilitate audience imitation and enhance the popularity of the Limi live streaming room. Chen Su wanted to purchase local durians from the Star Network market to confirm if they were edible, but there was no one selling durians at the market. She retrieved the contact information of Lingen Express and never expected to use it so quickly. For durians, address. Island X, Unmanned Area, Moon Star Nature Reserve Satellite 199999, available. Can they be delivered? Lu Shan is discussing with his brothers in the group about the spicy fried sea white shrimp that he just grabbed in the Corn Live broadcast room. Durian. What do you want this thing for? This address is not the location of the Sumi live broadcast room. Can be given away, it's just during the cold winter season, not the mature period of durian. Plus the long journey, the price is 499 stars. The price is fair. Chen Su transferred 499 star coins to the store account. Lingen Express Brothers Group, at Aquatic Fish Old 4, I will deliver tomorrow's goods and bring 4 durians along the way. Surprisingly, some people, like Xiaohe, can tolerate durian. Thanks to Xia Hafei asking Shan Gu to bring back from Yenqing, otherwise this business would be ruined. Lu Shan touched Xiaohe's dog head and gave it a small durian as a reward, enduring the smell. He didn't understand why Xiaohe could eat so happily despite the smell. He pinched his nose, trying to put a small piece into his mouth, but the faint odor rushed straight to the sky. Forget it, why bother yourself? After picking fruits, Chen Su returned to the beach and saw Xiaonuomi Tuanzi sitting next to the tent holding a basin. Her hair had clearly been combed, and her little head was clearly dozing off bit by bit. Retrieve sea white shrimp, salmon, and fresh cabbage just picked in the afternoon from the storage. The vegetable fields on the southern island are mostly leafy vegetables with small planting areas. Handle the sea white shrimp and vegetables, sprinkle salt and pepper on the salmon for pickling, and fry until crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Just as I was about to stir-fry sea white shrimp in a hot pot, Zayanomi Tuanzi dragged the bowl and ran to the iron pot to sit down. She tilted her round head back and grinned as if pleasing. Divide the stir-fried dish in half and put 3/4 into a bowl of glutinous rice balls, which will have a larger appetite. It took out a large bag of fresh and tender bamboo shoots out of thin air, tiptoed like a treasure and placed them on the operating table, then dragged the basin and ran away again. Originally, it came from the northern island. Chen Su weighed the bag and found that it weighed at least 40 kilograms. The bamboo shoots inside had already been cleaned. He is quite particular about bears. After dinner, Geely went to bed early and ran around today, consuming energy. This body has reached its limit without exercise. Lu Shan piloted the aircraft and circled 3 or 4 times over the 1999 satellite, but was unable to enter and was blocked by its external protective cover. After the morning exercise, Chen Li received a message from Lu Shan that there was a protective cover over this protective satellite. Flying into the sky, there was indeed a flying machine hovering over it and running parallel to its right. Lu Shan opened the car window and saw that the face exposed by the aircraft on the right was really the recently popular food anchor, Su Mi. Last time we met, she was wrapped in a warm suit and couldn't see her face clearly. Chen Su, take 4 durians. Okay, take a look. All 4 durians are good, all of them were chosen by our little ones. Chen Su took the transparent box containing durians, which appeared to be of excellent quality and maturity, and then confirmed receipt. I really like your live broadcast and even managed to grab sea white shrimp. By the way, are you planning to make this durian dish? That's right. Brother Lu, just call me Su Mi. Okay. After I finish delivering the package, I'll watch the live broadcast when I go back. You will definitely be popular, Su Mi. Our market is watching your live broadcast for lunch. Thank you for your support, I borrow your kind words. Chen Su kept a smile and thanked Lu Shan. Chen Su stopped over the guardian star and couldn't see the so-called protective cover in her eyes, but Lu Shan's inability to enter was also a real existence. She returned to the beach and took out the box containing durians from the storage. Just as I opened the box, an indescribable stench struck. The taste of the 4,035-year-old durian has evolved so much that no wonder it has not yet become extinct. Wearing a gas-resistant energy mask, Chen Su cut open the durian. The outer shell was exceptionally tough, and the flesh was exceptionally plump. A durian bloomed into 10 chambers of flesh. Putting aside the shell, the unpleasant smell of the fruit flesh weakens, and the taste is even sweeter than before evolution. The taste is indeed good. Careful comparison shows that island durian is better. Moreover, the comparison between the two sides highlights the limited star energy contained in the flesh of the island durian, indicating that the species of the moon star no longer contain star energy. Chen Su urged the convergence of star energy onto the cutting tool, which then infiltrated into the fruit flesh and tasted it again, containing star energy as well. This method was discovered by Grandpa and his team unintentionally, which can mildly soothe the restless energy of the stars. Grandpa and his team once proposed using dietary therapy to soothe the orcs who experienced fluctuations in the energy pool, but it was rejected. The reason is that the dietary therapy cycle is long, the planting cost of species is high, and the maintenance cost is high. On the contrary, inhibitors have low cost, fast effectiveness, and are convenient to carry. In 3035, the fluctuations in the energy pool did not pose a threat to life, but the fluctuations in the Moon Star Orc's energy pool in 4035 had already threatened their lives, and the effects of various upgraded versions of inhibitors were becoming weaker and weaker. The obstacles to promoting the dietary therapy plan now will be much smaller, and it is more likely to obtain Imperial support. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Heavenly Descent of Men. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Heavenly Descent of Men. Chen Su was lying on the rocking chair, savoring the freshly opened durian flesh beautifully. After smelling it for a while, he became immune to the foul smell of the flesh. Then she heard the glutinous rice dumpling standing 10 meters away from her, barking and quickly covering its mouth and nose with 2 small hands, walking back and forth with small steps. Its face showed visible anxiety. Is the sound of an iron-eating beast like this? She put down the durian and walked to the side of the glutinous rice dumpling. In the blink of an eye, the small glutinous rice dumpling turned into a super-large version, 3 meters tall and sturdy like a wall. It picked up Chen Su from the ground, carried him on its shoulder, and quickly ran towards the forest. 10 minutes later, the glutinous rice dumpling stopped at the edge of a cave, transformed back into its original shape, and dragged her inside, shouting in its mouth. Everyone number 2, please save big guy number 1. Through the sunlight shining into the cave, Chen Su saw a man lying on the stone bed with pale lips, tightly closed eyes, disheveled clothes, and injured shoulders and abdomen. The man has a head of silver-gray hair, with 2 silver gradient ears hidden between his hair. His phoenix eyes reveal sharpness, with a tall nose bridge and thin lips. He has a beautiful face and a strong physique, making him a rare and beautiful man. Little one, how did this person get here? I retrieved it from the sky. Nwomi Tuanzi looked up and pointed to the sky with her fingers. Looking closely at his face, there was an unnatural blush, and fine beads of sweat rolled down his face. Opening his clothes, he saw a serious totem on his left shoulder and a gunshot wound from a starry gun on his right shoulder, piercing and burning the surrounding skin. He also had a 10-centimeter long wound on his abdomen. The wounds on the abdomen and shoulders are clearly infected, which is a high fever caused by inflammation. Fever and inflammation can be easily treated, but the abdominal wound requires specialized equipment for suturing. But the Empire has strict control over medical equipment and sedatives, and to deal with abdominal wounds, one must go to interstellar hospitals. Whether to go or not, we still have to wait for him to wake up and seek his opinion. It's not been a day or 2 to see his wounds. Chen Su took out the small medical cabin and placed him in it for cooling treatment. Little one, you're asking me for food again and asking me to save people. How can you repay the favor? She reached out and patted the head of the glutinous rice ball over and over again, feeling the fluffy texture stretching in her hand. Nwomi Tuanzi was clearly feeling comfortable and took the initiative to approach her, lying in her arms, revealing her small belly. It's a little boy. I see you've grown a life seed, and your star energy talent is not low. Dad didn't teach you how to speak before. Who's Dad? I'll be able to speak soon. You see, I can understand what you're saying. You're not a little mute, are you a little illiterate? Without parenting experience, Chen Su had no choice but to call up a children's program with intellectual intelligence and project it to Nwomi Tuanzi, hoping to be helpful for its language learning. On the Moon Star, a very small number of animals and plants can grow into life forms, develop brain regions, form energy pools, and acquire star energy talents. They are no different from orcs in all aspects except that they cannot transform into human form, and even their star energy talent is stronger than orcs. But as the star energy of the moon itself becomes rarer, awakened flora and fauna become even rarer. At least there are currently no relevant reports, only existing in ancient literature. While the man was still receiving treatment, Chen Su planned to go hunting in the forest and find pigs or cows, which would be beneficial for the recovery of the man's wounds. The situation in the forest is more complex than on the beach, and she is not sure if there are any large beasts here. Nwomi Tuanzi stood by the man's side, unwilling to leave, and could only grope forward alone. She followed the river all the way north, in an open grassland, with an adult cow and a calf, accompanied by a wild chicken and a nest of eggs. A calf is the same size as a chensu, and the body size of an adult cow is even larger, 3 times that of a calf. Chensu used fish and meat to lure wild chickens towards the lush grass, and arrested them in black bags before they started chirping. Then she took out a bone-chopping knife from the memory, still using tools, otherwise she might not be able to solve this big guy in one go. Chensu looked at his small body and had to find a way to deal with the adult calf. The calf's horns were not yet fully grown, so there was nothing to be afraid of. She remembers watching her father's nurturing video, which recorded that the weakness of cows lies in the carotid artery. At that time, they also drew inspiration from the battles of the octopus and achieved significant results. But she underestimated the strength of the big black bull, whose skin, flesh, and strength far surpassed those of the highly intelligent but fragile octopus. Under the pressure of being sandwiched between the calf and the adult calf, this untrained little body not only did not touch them in the slightest, but was also knocked down by the big black bull one after another, and even the bone-chopping knife was thrown into the nearby bushes. The big black ox had red eyes, widened its eyeballs, and its hooves were charging and rubbing against her, rushing towards her. "It's done." She took off flat, clattering and sticking in a large shape against the tree trunk. Oh my, she slid down from the trunk and sat on the ground, covering her chest and unable to get up. I heard the powerful roar of the big black ox and saw its growing size. Chensu pulled out another small knife from the memory, and instead of avoiding it, she was waiting for the big black ox to collide. When the big black ox was about to collide with her, she immediately slid down and a small knife cut through its belly. She fought against the black bull in the form of a human, weaving through its 6 directions of up, down, front, middle, and back with speed and small size, leaving traces wherever the knife passed. When Chensu stopped, the black cow, which was still running wildly, suddenly froze, and its mooing stopped abruptly. Then it bloomed on all 6 sides, with its skin and flesh blooming. The little black cow next to him saw the big black cow fall to the ground, and the whole cow fell into a state of madness. He rushed straight towards Chensu. She picked up the bone-chopping knife that had fallen into the grass and directly faced the little black cow. The star energy converged at her wrist and then surged towards the blade, chopping at the head of the little black cow. Blood splattered everywhere, and half of the head of the little black cow was cut off. Chensu dragged 2 cows to the river to bleed, and then stored them in storage. Immediately after, a roar of tigers exploded in their ears, probably due to the recent fight and bloodshed, which startled them. She rushed back to the cave and sprayed perfume all the way to cover her tracks. The man had already woken up from the medical cabin, lying weakly on the haystack, with glutinous rice balls obediently sitting next to him. When Chensu came in, he immediately entered a state of readiness. "Wake up, little one brought me here." Momi Tuanzi also comfortingly hugged the man's arm, explaining with ease that she would pull Chensu's hand at one moment and the man's hand at another. Yes, big guy number 2 was brought by me to save you." "Thank you." The man's hoarse voice sounded, weak. "Your abdominal and shoulder wounds need to be sutured at the Star Hospital, and I can take you there." The man shook his head firmly and said, "No, thank you. It's not very convenient for me to go to the hospital now." End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Hand Chumming Beef Balls. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Hand Chumming Beef Balls. I have equipment and medication, could you please help me sew them up? Chenli took the instruments and herbs from the man's feet and said, "I'm not afraid, I'll take the opportunity to kill you. You should have seen the totem on my left shoulder, saving me is far more valuable than killing me." Chenli's gaze was placed on his left shoulder, and the imperial royal totem was indeed valuable. "How do you call it now?" "Land breeze." Chensu. She didn't say much and let the man lie in the medical cabin, starting the surgical suture in a sterile environment. After suturing, Chen Su logged into the Moon Star Wanderer platform and first posted a video of himself killing the black bull, dissecting the black bull, and removing its bones online for preheating. Millet Studio, Desert Island Tramps, Bash Black Cattle, and Beat Beef Balls with their hands. Once released, the video's playback reached the level of billions, and the number of live room reservations reached the threshold of billions for the first time. The large number of views on live streaming platforms nowadays is largely due to the cold winter season. During this period, Yueshing implemented a shift system, so that during the 3 months of winter, at least 1.5 months were spent comfortably at home. When the cold winter season passes and all orc life returns to normal, there is no time to spend tens of minutes or even hours on live broadcasts, and the daily views of the top anchors on the entire platform will not exceed 50 billion. At present, there is only 1 week left until the end of the winter season. Chen Su needs to seize this opportunity, stabilize updates, and accumulate fans. The live broadcast is held at 11 p.m. every day, with the aim of creating a contrast between delicious food and colorless and tasteless nutrient solution. Melee stimulation stimulates the brain's actions, so don't hesitate to pay attention. Moon Star 519186, Outer Fifth Ring Road. A girl with a high ponytail, wearing suspenders, and a plain face, looked at the constantly increasing number of appointments in the Sumi live broadcast room on the projection screen, her face becoming increasingly unpleasant. She stood up from the sofa, with the cup in her hand directly hitting the projection screen, revealing spider web-like cracks on the screen. Su Tianyi, this is the 3rd projection screen you smashed this month. Li Jie, the agent of Su Tianyi, has a big wavy head, fiery red lips, wearing a professional suit, and high heels of around 15 centimeters. A new anchor dares to challenge me. I just posted a video about subduing the black bull earlier, and she also posted it in less than 10 minutes. Look at the number of views, it's about to catch up with me. Su Tianyi, calm down your temper. Your contract with Yaolong still has 1 month left to expire. Whether you can renew it depends on next month's performance. Now that I have the highest commercial value on the entire network, they can still not continue me. Your vacation next week has been rejected. Why? During the 3 months of winter, I haven't rested for a whole day. Su Tianyi, don't yell and scream. If you don't have a princess's life, you have a princess's illness. Let's see if the corn will surpass you. Next month, you can just drink the northwest wind. Are you telling a joke, Sister Li? Last week, I asked you to accompany Lu Dong, but you smashed someone's head, broke their blood, and directly lost Xiang Yin's order. The senior management already has a strong opinion of you. Not to mention, Corn, what's more hardworking than you in the company? I won't do it anymore, go home and inherit the family property. Su Tianyi ran back to his room to pack his luggage and threw them all into the storage. Family property. Your second-hand damaged aircraft. Su Tianyi noticed for the first time that her face was so harsh. She should have recognized her by the time Su Li sent her to the Lu Dong banquet. Coming out in one breath, I haven't figured out where to go. It's impossible to go back to the Su family, and it's time to get married. Coincidentally, a small account sent a message to remind me that the Sumi live broadcast room has started. She found a lounge and entered the live broadcast room. After enduring for a few days, she still wanted to see why her fan base had skyrocketed. When she first started live streaming, she had a few fans on the first day, but later she was so happy that she could gain tens of thousands of fans in a day. As a result, Sumi caused a sensation on the entire network as soon as she started broadcasting. It's just an extinct species, ancient culinary art, why is it so popular? Moon Star. Unmanned Island X. Hello, welcome to the Millet Studio. Today's dish is Han Chui beef balls. Bullet Chat, whose chin is on the ground, oh, it turns out to be mine. Is this the realistic version of the ancient literature of How Ding Jian Yo? Has Sumi ever served in the military? How cool. Chen Su moved the whole leg to the operating platform. The raw material used for pounding beef balls is the leg meat in my hand. The beef in this section is fresh, tender, and delicate, making it more refreshing and chewy. Next, we need to remove the beef film, tendons, and impurities, and then cut the beef into small pieces for pounding. Chen Li took out two 1-meter-long hammers, and this time she gathered the star energy onto the hammer. By repeatedly pounding the beef, she evenly penetrated the star energy into every strand of beef. Bullet chat. Every tool of corn is beyond imagination, all are enlarged versions, but there is no sense of conflict. What great strength! Sitting in a chair, one can feel the vibration at this moment. Finally, you can make your own dishes. However, within 10 minutes, this small body had reached its limit, with strong soreness in its hands and even slight trembling. Star energy consumption is extremely fast, so Chen Su can only stop and rest for 1 or 2 minutes to replenish food. On the other hand, outside the camera, on the small table prepared by Chen Su, the glutinous rice balls were learning to imitate each other. The hammer swung so hard that only the remnants could be seen, and the beef had already produced sticky glue. Chen Su handed all the beef to the glutinous rice ball and whispered to its ear to discuss. "Little one, you finish these and I'll fry you an extra serving of sea white shrimp later." Upon hearing the spicy stir-fried sea white shrimp, the glutinous rice ball's eyes lit up. He took the initiative to put the beaten beef into a basin, handed it to Chen Su, and patted his chest. "Big guy number 2, wrap it around me." The beaten beef should be picked up by hand like this without falling off. Now add salt, cornstarch, monosodium glutamate, a small amount of sugar, and pepper to the beef. Chen Su still infused star energy into the beef while stirring it. Through today's beef balls, the method of dietotherapy can make an impression on the people of beasts and feel the difference. Chen Su took out the large iron pot, cooking tools, and water from the storage, and first boiled the water to a suitable temperature. Take another handful of beef from the bowl, squeeze out the shape of a ball from the tiger's mouth where your thumb and index finger are pinched, use a spoon to scoop the ball into warm water, squeeze the ball left and right, and use your right hand to dig the ball into the pot. Mwomi Tuanzi squatted on the ground, constantly remembering Chen Su's warning not to let it appear in the camera. With the smell of beef bone soup and beef balls coming, a string of crystal liquid flowed from its mouth. "Meat, delicious meat, I really want to eat." Bullet chat. How fragrant. Just smelling the smell makes my heart feel warm. A few days ago, a cow froze to death at the doorstep of my house. I made a house for heating energy and felt like I missed out on 1 billion, catch the cow now and give it a try. Hurry up, otherwise the cow price will rise. Every time I try the corn, I give it in large quantities. There must be 50 of them in this pot, right? Everyone will share the food they grab. It's cold winter now. Drink a bowl of beef soup and take a bite of beef balls to warm my heart. I'm going to open the trial seat. Please let the audience who grabbed the trial seat put the trial experience on the public screen. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. The amazing effect of ancient Chinese cooking techniques. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. The amazing effect of ancient Chinese cooking techniques. Su Tianyi was quick-witted and successfully managed to grab a trial seat. A soup bowl twice as big as her face appeared on the table, and the fragrance instantly attracted the crowds of people working and resting around her. There were faint sounds of swallowing saliva and softly sobbing. Ignoring the gaze that fell on her, she pretended to be calm and prepared to eat. "Sorry to disturb you. Hello, miss, can you sell a small bowl of beef balls? I was watching the live broadcast just now, but I didn't catch it. The children are clamoring for food." The man in front of him has a tall nose bridge, golden-framed glasses, and a straight black suit, which is completely the type that Su Tianyi likes. Standing beside him was a well-behaved and clever little boy of about 5 years old, with chestnut curly hair, round big eyes, a small mouth pursed slightly, and small tears hanging in his eyes. His eyes were both eager and restrained, so cute. Sure. Thank you. Xiao Jun, thank you, sister. Thank you, beautiful sister. A pair of round eyes smiled with wrinkles, and her plump cheeks were red, like two red apples. You're welcome. Su Tianyi smiled and touched Yuan Lejuan's curly hair. There are elders studying the moon star antiques at home. This set of tableware is customized, and you can choose the price of beef balls. The man's face appears a little embarrassed, looking at his condition as the first time to ask for help. There's no need to collect the money, this is also what I snatched. If you really give it a reward to the Sumi live broadcast room. Su Tianyi just saw in the live broadcast that Sumi was just an 18-year-old girl, so he let go of his thoughts about arguing with her. Moreover, Sumi's soft and sticky appearance has now occupied the top spot in the beauty list of her beloved little sister. Song Cheng stared at the person in front of him, with a bright face and an irresistible smile, softening his originally aggressive appearance. Okay. Cough. Is it convenient to exchange smart network communication methods? Song Cheng, my name, this is my nephew. Okay. Su Tianyi. After adding contact information, Su Tianyi asked Song Cheng to add more sets of tableware and shared 2 of them with their uncle and nephew. The surrounding crowd was somewhat envious when they saw it, but as adults, they felt embarrassed to ask for it, and there were no suitable utensils available. Su Tianyi took a bite of beef ball, and the fresh and sweet meat juice overflowed his mouth. The tight taste of elastic teeth jumped on his tongue. The meat smell of beef flowed between his lips and teeth. A mouthful of beef bone soup locked the aroma of beef, and the warm soup smelled even more delicious. And at the moment when the beef ball enters the mouth, you can feel the silk stars flowing in the mouth. With the swallowing action, all of them flow into the body, and the fatigue of the body is relieved, and the fluctuations of the energy pool are soothed. Looking at the person who snatched a trial seat on the public screen, they also have the same feeling. Bullet chat, Q.pop refreshing. Fresh, sweet and juicy Star Network has purchased 10 cows. I feel like a star can dance in my mouth. Originally, the star could fluctuate violently and only wanted to watch the millet to distract attention, but now the pain has eased a lot after eating beef balls. I also had this feeling about the previous sea white shrimp, but it wasn't as obvious as it is today. I thought it was an illusion. When he was young, his elder brother hired a chef who claimed to be a descendant of ancient French cuisine to cook dishes at home. As a result, the taste was very strange, not as good as colorless and tasteless nutritional liquid, so in her understanding, ancient French cooking was nothing more than that. But this hand-pounding beef ball made by the ancient cooking technique in the Millet Studio has a strong meat flavor, which can be called the best food she has eaten in the past 28 years. After a while, the beef balls and beef bone soup in the bowl have bottomed out. Looking at the uncle and nephew who are intoxicated with food, Su Tianyi has made plans for his next destination. She rewarded the Sumi live broadcast room with 10 of the most valuable airships on Jinao, equivalent to 1 million star coins. After bidding farewell to Song Cheng, she drove her second-hand aircraft to the Star Empire Interstellar School. Moon Star. Unmanned Island X. Chen Su was preparing to broadcast and a 10-combo airship reward popped up on the public screen. The reward was given by the person named, I Am a Fairy, which is the highest reward amount received since the start of the broadcast. After the broadcast, she made a small portion of spicy stir-fried sea white shrimp for Glutinous rice balls. He is good at eating. He pours beef balls into a bowl of sea white shrimp and is used to stirring them. Each beef ball is covered with pepper foam. Sitting on a small stool, holding a large bowl the size of its 2 heads, swaying its short legs, swaying its small head left and right, visibly satisfied. It was specially brought to Chen Su's face, with its neck tilted back and a round and smooth belly showing off. Big guy number 2, it's spicy and delicious. Having tasted the chili seafood version of beef balls handed over by Glutinous rice dumplings, they really have a unique taste. The aroma of beef, sea white shrimp, and chili is not just a simple mixture, but 3 layers of fresh fragrance, layer by layer peeled. Chen Su writes the mixed version of sea white shrimp and beef balls into his recipe. Next time, he can try the mixed version of beef and shrimp. The release of stars can penetrate the cave, and the land breeze has shown signs of awakening. She took the stewed beef broth from the nearby soup pot, put in the boiled beef balls, and served them to him, which was helpful to the recovery of the wound. Lu Feng had already awakened and sat leaning against the boulder. The aroma of beef soup drifted into the cave from outside, and the stomach, which had not eaten for days, gurgled. Stewed beef soup helps with wound healing. Thank you. As soon as Lu Feng drank the beef soup, he immediately felt the magic of the soup, suppressing his curiosity in savoring the entire bowl of soup and beef. Not only has the pain at the wound been relieved, but even the headache caused by the damaged energy pool in the battle a few days ago has been relieved. Every bite of soup and every piece of beef contains star energy. The ancient French chefs who were once trained by the royal family did not possess such skills. More than a decade ago, Moon Star was in a stable external situation with no wars. The Moon Star nobility, upper class, once sparked a craze to train chefs who knew ancient cooking techniques at home. In a life of pure wealth and leisure, people would pursue other pleasures. But the technique that has long been lost and only a few words left is not so easy to learn, let alone the extinction of species. It is even more difficult to replicate dishes, and this trend quickly cooled down. I didn't expect there to be an unusual chef who knows ancient cooking techniques on this unusual island. Are you the inheritor of ancient culinary techniques, living in seclusion here for generations? Yes or no, it can be either yes or no. Lu Feng's eyebrows furrowed tightly, and his curiosity towards Chen Su reached its peak. He was indeed a very interesting person. She didn't have a sense of defense, and all the energy around her conveyed friendliness and no hostility. She exudes a demeanor that resembles a properly trained soldier, but her thin and weak physique clearly lacks exercise, making her a contradictory individual. I checked this protective satellite and it was only registered 2 weeks ago, even appearing out of thin air. His fingers lightly tapped his thighs, his words paused, waiting for Chen Su's answer. The latter did not act hastily to cover up or explain, but instead slowly peeled the shrimp shells and fed them to the chubby glutinous rice balls next to them. Your Highness, I have never asked you about it, and you should not come and ask me about it. After all, it is you, Your Highness, who is entrusted with me. You are more interesting than I know. I can cooperate with all your actions during your stay on the island, and provide you with an unconditional commitment that will not affect your external image and noble status within the legal and moral limits. Lu Feng rubbed his right thumb, clearly weighing the pros and cons. Chen Su was not in a hurry, patiently waiting for his answer. Sure. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. The Bone Marrow of a Overturned Bull. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. The Bone Marrow of a Overturned Bull. Yueshing. Number 999, Main City District. Long Xiaotian did not grab a trial seat in these few live broadcasts of corn, and even paid for someone to grab it but was unsuccessful. He was so unlucky that he wanted to curse others. The barrage on the public screen indirectly confirmed his feeling that the last time he ate fluid in a salmon, it was not his illusion. After leaving the live broadcast room, he found the remaining cows brought back by last week's Tianweihu satellite 19898. In appearance, it looks the same as the cow in the corn live broadcast room, but the cow he cooked and ate before was not delicious and had no supplementary or soothing effect on Xingning. He placed a new order at the Star Market and bought back 4 black cows. The second-rate chef who claimed to know how to cook in ancient ways had already been dismissed. He had to imitate the steps of the millet broadcast room and beat beef balls with his hands. But the gap between fantasy and reality is indelible, and he was defeated in the first step of killing cows and bones. He had to find Long Wei, but to his surprise, she had already had the company team conduct 4 experiments. Without star power, it's not delicious. Long Xiaotian disdainfully threw the remaining half of the meatballs into the crushing bin. Long Wei is sitting on a floating chair, while the mobile robot is doing head care for her. The cooperation father you mentioned last time approved it, and we will give you 200 million yuan in working capital. Also, the Empire has strict protection of satellite property rights, and it is difficult to buy this gold mine from her. It depends on how you fight for the initiative. Last time I said investment was just an excuse, that's not a joke. Long Wei gave Long Xiaotian a chestnut. You are also an adult, not in the military, not in politics, not in business. You just want to travel around the stars and idle around all day. My father gave me a dead order to cooperate and take control of that protective satellite in the hands of Yaolong, otherwise it will cut off your money. I'm so annoyed. Long Xiaotian covered his head with a look of annoyance. A blond boy walked into the door, dressed in silver armor and exuding a noble aura from top to bottom. He was Feng Ling, the son of the current Moon Star Lord's younger brother, and also Long Wei's fiancé. Your Highness. Long Wei stood up to welcome him, completely without the imposing demeanor she had just shown, with a small bird-like demeanor. Your brother Law will also go with you this time. Casual. Long Xiaotian became even more irritable, having been at odds with Feng Ling since childhood, and couldn't stand Long Wei's love brain. What are Xiaoling's plans after graduation? I'm leaving first, Long Xiaotian ignored and strode out of the office. It's getting worse and worse. Long Wei pretended to hit him, but was embraced and kissed by Feng Ling. Alright, well behaved. I'll take you to Yunjian Pavilion later tonight. Long Wei leaned against Feng Ling's embrace, panting and looking shy. Moon Star. Palace on the west side of the Empire. After returning from Yaolong Group, Feng Ling headed straight to the West Main Hall. Father. The middle-aged man sitting in the main seat has a 3-centimeter long scar on his right cheek and eyebrow bone, and a white lion squatting on his right leg. He is the younger brother of the Moon Star Lord, the only prince of the Moon Star, and also one of the 7 commanders of the Moon Star, the Phoenix Patrol. Is the dragon family going with their son or daughter this time? Long Xiaotian. How are you doing with Long Wei? It's pretty good. The son of the Long family is not up to par, and Long Wei is likely to be the next head of the Long family. You need to think carefully about what to do, and remember to handle the women outside. Feng Xuantian touched the head of the white lion, his star energy released, with the pressure of the strong. My son knows. Feng Ling had a thin sweat oozing from his forehead, and his eyes flickered slightly. Have you visited Feng Xinglan's place? My son has personally seen it and indeed is still lying in the first-level nursing cabin. It's not certain if he can survive, but it's just through the glass. Don't be too happy too early, Feng Xinglan's life form is the strongest in the past few hundred years. You go down first. Moon Star. Unmanned Island X. However, a large number of fake beef balls have appeared on the platform during the night, but Chen Li is not worried at all. On the contrary, he is happy to see such changes, which will reduce many obstacles for the later plan. Imitating the hand-pounding beef balls, she roasted beef bone marrow and ate it raw, with endless patterns hanging the curiosity of the audience. Suomi live room, Nyonyo is full of treasures, and bone marrow is always on the sidelines. After the imitation of beef balls, people's understanding of beef has reached a new level. At the moment the link was posted, the number of reservations in the live broadcast room reached billions in just a few seconds. Take out the frozen beef bone marrow, and of course, the task of cutting beef bone marrow is entrusted to our physical strength, with a super large bone chopping knife. Hello everyone, this is the Sumi live broadcast room. I am Sumi. Chen Su placed the cut beef bone marrow and ground chili powder on the table. She is not worried at all that some audience members may find it unappetizing. After all, beef bone marrow is just a heavenly delicacy in her world. The left 3 plates are beef bone marrow prepared for grilling, and the right 3 plates are beef bone marrow eaten raw. Little cuties, please note that the cow's bone marrow needs to be frozen first for the incision to be so neat. Chen Su sprinkled salt and chili on the beef bone marrow, then placed it in the oven, preheated first, and baked at 220 degrees Celsius. She drizzled soy sauce on the raw beef bone marrow to add flavor, and placed it on an ice basin along with the plate. Wait for about 20 minutes, let's start by grilling the meat. Bullet chat: my beef ball failed, woo-woo, let alone Ching Wan, I almost wanted Wan when I hit my hand with a powerful diamond hammer. I think it's a matter of tools that I can't do it. Can you persuade friends to sell tools by adding 1 millet? This fox netizen in the mountains is currently not available, but I can discuss it with my friends. Bullet chat: thank you, Sumi, for throwing you an airship. The barbecue is so fragrant, and the sizzling sound is so pleasant while watching the live broadcast and drinking nutrient solution. The nutrient solution becomes flavorful. Now the trial seats are open, and the cute ones who grab the trial seats remember to display the trial experience on the public screen. Chen Su specially left the 2 largest pieces of beef bone marrow for the landwind to eat and shape. The glutinous rice dumpling was surprisingly well behaved this time, carrying the sea white shrimp that had been stir-fried for it. A bear silently sat at the small dining table to eat. For Chen Su, as a top enthusiast of beef bone marrow, this meal is the most appetizing one for her on the 40-35-year star, especially the cream-flavored raw beef bone marrow. Bullet chat: I can't accept raw cow bone marrow, it's like flowing white intestines. The taste of raw food is not good, but the 1-year-old cub is particularly enthusiastic about eating. I actually prefer raw ones, cooked ones are a bit greasy for me. The beef balls are delicious. This is unacceptable. My family loves to eat, it's not enough at all. This slap on the face caught her off guard, and 4 of the cute little ones in the tasting area couldn't quite accept it. Her favorite beef bone marrow overturned, and the beef bone marrow in her mouth didn't even smell good. Moreover, the glutinous rice dumplings were also very resistant to beef bone marrow, so they gave up after sniffing it. On the other hand, the beef bone marrow in the landwind plate was eaten clean. This live broadcast made Chen Su realize that the moon star orcs have different attitudes towards terrestrial creatures by directly eating raw food. The next topic for live streaming should avoid selecting raw terrestrial organisms as much as possible. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Invisible Guardians. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Invisible Guardians. Moon Star. Yalong Fleet. Long Xiaotian was lying in Funling's office, eating the cow bone marrow from the Corn Live broadcast room in front of him. It's so fragrant, so slippery, so tender. It's a pity that some people can't eat it. Long Xiaotian took a spoonful of roasted beef bone marrow and a bite of raw beef bone marrow, and before eating, he even looked provocatively at Feng Ling sitting next to him drinking nutrient solution. Feng Ling didn't even give Long Xiaotian a glance, still processing the documents in his mind. Che, fake hi, you're just jealous. You can't even get a cow's bone marrow, so you know how to rely on women. Who doesn't know what you're up to when you're chasing Long Wei? It's just Long Wei's romantic brain. Feng Ling untied the cufflinks, rolled the sleeves half to his elbow, and directly punched the chattering Long Xiaotian. The fist hit the corner of his mouth, instantly turning purple. Feng Ling, you hypocrite, you know you're pretending. Feng Ling punched one after another, except for the fist that had just hit the corner of her mouth. Everything else fell into a dark area that was not easily noticed by others. Long Xiaotian wanted to resist, but was completely suppressed. The pain on his body made him extremely uncomfortable, and he regretted not studying well for the first time. Hello, be your second-generation ancestor and don't talk cheap in front of Long Wei. Guess who they will believe? Feng Ling sat back in place, put down the sleeve she had just rolled up, and tidied up her slightly messy shirt. Long Xiaotian lay on the ground, unable to stand up. The sound of knocking on the door. Long Xiaotian, who was originally lying on the ground humming and groaning, endured the pain and immediately got up. Being beaten was one thing, and being humiliated was another. Enter. The visitor saw Long Xiaotian limping out and closed the door when he left. Your Highness, the 1999/999 satellite has arrived, but there is something wrong. This is a photo taken. Are you sure it's here, besides the sea or the sea? Feng Ling looked at the endless sea in the photo, with no islands at the coordinates, only seawater, all of which was seawater, and even the presence of living organisms could not be detected. Your Highness, that's indeed true. Ask the laboratory to double-check several times, and now contact the Korn Live broadcast room. Yes, Feng Ling and her entourage left the office and went to the laboratory on the lower floor. Do you have any results? A researcher handed over a stack of research materials. Just say it. Your Highness, after strengthened testing, we have confirmed that there must be this island below the fleet, but there is super strong energy protection on its periphery. From the image's feedback from the intelligent brain, it can be seen that there are indeed faint energy circles around the ship, intermittent and elusive. Reply from the Korn Live broadcast room. Not willing to let the fleet land on the island, refusing to cooperate. Is it possible to forcibly land? The internal situation of the energy cluster cannot be determined. If testing is necessary, it is recommended to use a small aircraft. The worst-case scenario. The plane destroyed and people died. Prepare the small aircraft, I will go personally. Your Highness, you cannot go by yourself. A researcher blocked Long Xiaotian's way. Come on, this is the project I'm going to do. It doesn't make sense to ask you to go and die now. Besides, there are still living people on the island, and if someone can go, it means it won't go to the point of machine destruction or human death. By the way, don't tell Long Xiaotian yet. Feng Ling went back and forth. This was a gamble. He bet himself that he could land safely and be the first to access the island resources. Feng Ling piloted a small aircraft, and as soon as it came into contact with energy waves, the fuselage shook slightly, but fortunately it was still controllable. Just as he was preparing to go further, a small aircraft flew over from behind, and without any accidents, it was Long Xiaotian. What are you doing? Feng Ling directly connected to Long Xiaotian's brain. You want to leave me? There's no way. It's not surprising that you graduated from Star Empire High School after repeating 3 years of study. Feng Ling, if you continue to scold me for being stupid, do you believe that I stabbed your little mistress you kept to Long Wei's place? If you have the ability, go. Feng Ling narrowed her eyes slightly, her eyes filled with coldness. She observed the surroundings of the aircraft, ensuring a clear observation distance from the main starship, and planned to crash sideways into the aircraft where Long Xiaotian was located. Suddenly, a burst of energy sucked Long Xiaotian's aircraft into a vortex of energy, then spewed it out and smashed it into the sea. At the same time, a shockwave shot down Feng Ling's aircraft to the sea surface visible to the main starship. Moon Star. Unmanned Island X. After Chen Su refused the island landing request, he immediately stopped the live broadcast. Unexpectedly, the person who wanted to move this cake acted so quickly. It was just the introduction of star energy and food that directly attracted large companies like Yaolong Group. She walked up to the glutinous rice dumplings and watched them eat happily. Suddenly, she fell into a deep sleep, as if she had been frozen. She vigilantly observed the surroundings and confirmed that there were no other unfamiliar energy fluctuations. The glutinous rice dumpling was in standby mode on its own. Not sure about the specific situation, she decided to sit next to it, eating the sea-white shrimp on its plate while waiting for it to wake up. When the glutinous rice dumpling energy body returned, it saw that all the sea-white shrimp in its plate were gone, and there were empty shell coconuts in front of the culprit. It returned to its own body and angrily bit Chen Su's arm. Ah! Chen Su was playing a holographic game newly released by Tian Weixian, and his arm was tingling. Coming out of the game, I saw glutinous rice balls embedded in my arms, my limbs wrapped around my arms, and my teeth biting into my biceps. She pulled off the glutinous rice ball with one hand, held it in her arms with one hand, and slapped it against its furry buttocks with the other. 10 minutes later, the glutinous rice dumpling pounced on Lu Feng's arms with grievances, and the small teardrops fell down like free money, leaving a buttocks facing Chen Su, who was treating her arm with medical notes. Tisk, white-eyed wolf, little green tea. Lu Feng forced his mouth to bend upwards, but couldn't conceal the schadenfreude in his tone. Are you here? Chen Su didn't want to answer. With such obvious bare teeth marks and his star's ability to be strong, he probably had already seen the situation outside the cave clearly, looking at his expression of knowing why. Little one, if you keep pressing down, my wound will crack. Mwomi Tuanzi lifted her head from Lu Feng's arms, turned around and looked at Chen Su, her eyes full of complaints. Her little buttocks were pouting, and her two little hands were still caressing her buttocks, her mouth humming. You stole my sea-white shrimp, I only ate a little bit, and there are still a lot left. I even helped you beat the bad guys, and you even spanked me. The glutinous rice dumpling is even more aggrieved. Why can't it still speak? Why is it so difficult to speak? This look was also too aggrieved, and it was his own fault first. Chen Su compromised and argued with a little brat about something. Here's another stir-fry for you. Sure enough, the glutinous rice dumpling immediately stopped crying, jumped to the ground, propped up her small belly, and extended 2 fingers. 2 copies, end of this chapter.